All right, Bret, an overwhelming performance for what's been an underwhelming team. It's kind of teetering as far as that wild card race goes. What do we make of this performance?
Well, they needed it. There hasn't been that many of them, you know. I look at the big leagues this year in general, and it's an amazing season. I mean, you look at the AL especially, where if you're surviving, you're just around 500. Everybody's in the race. National League a little bit better. Obviously, some expectations coming out of the Padres this year and haven't quite lived up to it. Started off really hot, have cooled off. They're stars, Tatis, Machado, guys that you expect to lead the way. A young Merrill, another guy that they're planning on to be that core. And it's been more to this part in the season. It's been a lot of Ty France, who I think is exceeding expectations, what he's done, what Sheets has brought to the table. I think Taylor's been a huge kind of rally starter. Now all of a sudden he's on the IL. The bullpen, there's been guys hurt, there's been guys healthy. I think when healthy, it's the best bullpen in baseball maybe. You got to get to the bullpen to be able to use your best entity. So I think it's been a confusing season. You know, I've been on teams like this, and you've got right now with the trading deadline being in 11 days pretty much. It's kind of look around the room, and it's kind of calling each other out as, hey, we've got 11 days to prove to ownership that we want to add, not subtract. And it's on us. And it always is. You know, we make a lot of managers, coaches. At the end of the day, players win games, players lose games. And you're just there as a coach, as a manager, to guide them, to put them in the best position to succeed. So you got 11 days. It comes down to 11 days is to make a run. You just won today. Now you got a tough Atlanta Braves team coming in who's been, you know, top of that division all year. So it's not going to get any easier. They definitely have the firepower. They definitely have the skill set in that lineup. Is Tatis going to return to being the Tatis we're used to that hit 40 home runs a few years ago? Machado, home run totals are right there, I think, normal for his career. But he's hitting under 200. That's not a Manny Machado with the storied career he's had to this point. Merrill hitting 2 home runs a day. I think that's huge. That's a great sign. Can you keep it going? You know, I think San Diego's fallen in the categories of a lot of teams this year. As you look on paper and you think there's too much talent there to struggle as much as they have. And you can do it for a half, you can do it for a quarter, but rarely do I see that level of talent, especially on the offensive side, struggle for an entire season. So who knows what we're going to see in the next couple weeks, in the next couple months, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Bret, we saw Stammen in the postgame there. He was very calm, very level-headed. Whether they've been winning or losing, Stammen has remained the same. Do you like what you've seen so far from him early in his first year?
I really do, because I think being a first-year manager, especially right off the field, pretty much, Craig, is coming from, you're going to have a lot of eyeballs on you, and when things go south, they're going to go right to you and start calling for your head. That's part of being a manager at this level. For me, without being in the clubhouse, the only guys that know, when we were talking off camera about this, the only guys that truly know what's really going on is that 26 guys in that clubhouse. So you talk to them and say, hey, what do you think? They're going to give you their honest opinion if they trust you. But for us, for an onlooker, for somebody that casually watches Stammen do a post-game interview, I've been impressed. And I've defended him when they're calling for him. I said, he's as poised as I could possibly imagine. For a guy in a first year with all this, especially a team that has expectations, it's one thing taking over a team with no expectations. They just let you roll. But when you have expectations and your team isn't playing up to those expectations, there's a lot on your plate. And the way he's handled himself, I've been quite impressed. I played for a lot of managers. Some have been poised, some haven't been poised. But I always reference the flight attendant. When you haven't flown that often and there's turbulence, who do the eyes go to? Her. If she panics, well, then I'm going to panic. I'll tell you what, he's given them a good reason not to panic. That's as good as I've seen a young manager handling adversity. I think he's doing a good job. So I have no critique here. When people want me to critique him, it's like, what do you want him to do? I've been on enough teams. I played for enough managers that I do know this. Players win games and players lose games. And it's not on them.
Well, let's take a look at the wild card standings. Cubs and Phillies lead the way. Then the three-way tie for the final spot between Cardinals, Marlins, Pirates. Next three in contention, D-backs, Nationals, and there we find the Padres. Now 2.5 out, but with a lot of teams in front of them. And one of the teams in front of them, one of the teams that they will face next week, actually two of them. If we look at the schedule now, you've got the Braves for 4, followed by 3 against Miami, who they have not faced yet this season, who is in that kind of wild card mix as well. So handicap this for us, Bret, because 2.5 doesn't seem like much, but there is a crowd of teams all vying for those 3 spots.
Yeah, there's 7 teams ahead of the Padres right now, so the 2.5 number can be misleading. That upcoming schedule, you got Atlanta, and then you got Miami. Miami is sneaky good. They can pitch. They got a bunch of baseball players that you can tell love playing with each other. And if the little things that go along with sports is, yes, I want the most talented players. But then there's that team chemistry, which through my years I've been on teams that have it. It's a real thing. That Miami Marlins team's hungry. Nobody takes them serious, especially in that division. And they're really good, and they're really very talented. They can pitch. Don't take them lightly, because they'll come in and spank you if you take them lightly. So I think that's, at this stage of the season, it's like you can't pick and choose who you're going to play. You go through easier parts in the schedule, tough parts in the schedule. But the bottom line is it's the schedule. So we've got to go play, and it doesn't matter who. I think I saw that clip of Stammen after the game. He said, we want to, we're going on to Atlanta to win a series. I think that's how you have to look at it, because part of you at this stage of the season, with everything kind of on the line, and we got the trading deadline coming up, but we got to win every game. Well, that's not realistic. If you go into it, we got to win a series. I think that's a more prudent way to go about it.
All right, much more on the Padres from Bret Boone coming up. Great to be in the pub here with Bret Boone with us this evening, and we are getting close to the trade deadline, and a lot of thoughts on what the Padres could do. And Brooks, who works behind the scenes for us, was like, here's my take. Everybody is up for grabs on the Padres this trade deadline. Nobody's untouchable. I want to get to you, but Todd, we'll let you lead things off. Your first thoughts on everybody being on the table at this deadline.
OKC. What would Oklahoma City do? Sam Presti would sell off. Of course he would, because he would play the long game. So part of me says, yeah, Brooks, do it. Everybody goes. But then there's also a part of me that says, hey, the MLB playoffs is kind of a crapshoot. Get in there, you never know what happens. But then I come back to Padre pitching staff. I don't think no matter how many arms they get, they can carry them anywhere near where you want to go. So I'm Team Brooks. Sell them if you get the right guys back.
What do you think?
Wow, I have to make a call. I love my 11-day thing. I've got 11 days, see how these Padres perform. I think that's going to bode true. I think if the Padres rattle off 9 out of 10, I think they're going to be buyers. And if it goes the other way, somewhere in the middle is what makes it tough if you're in management situations. It's like if we're 10 days from now, we're still sitting here 2.5 out, 7 games ahead of us. Man, that's a tough decision. You hope they don't. It's almost like you don't want to lose, but you'd rather lose a lot than play 500. Make it an easy choice, because being an executive, being in that role where you've got to make that call, that's a tough call. I think it's great the way they've done it, 2 months out instead of 1 month out. 1 month, it's easier when you only have 1 month. You get to see another month of games.
Right.
But the way they have it, I think it's intriguing. I think it's great for the fans, great for the city, great for baseball. At this stage, wow. I think if I'm a Padres executive and they give me a solid sign, one way or the other, in the next 11 days, I think I'm with you. I think if it's a negative sign, I think anybody is for sale. And
if it's a positive sign, let's see who we can get to add some starting pitching.
I think when you look in that bullpen, if we're going to say, just play devil's advocate and say we're sellers, I think that bullpen you're going to have a ton of fun. I think every general manager, CEO, president's going to be calling the Padres for a couple guys in that bullpen. I think everybody knows who they are, and the price is going to be steep. Getting into the position players, you've got some star quality players not playing up with big money contracts. So those are a little tougher to move. The obvious ones are, the best closer in the game right now, Mason Miller. I think Amore Hone's going to he's going to covet a lot of activity. So it's going to be interesting to say. At this stage, 2.5 games back, there's no way my conscience I can sit here and say, oh, we're selling for sure. You're 2.5 games out. Yeah. If you run off 5, 6, 7 in a row, all of a sudden it's a different ballgame. I know what it's like as a player being in that clubhouse. We were talking off camera. Got to be a little delusional. Yeah. When it comes to it, you got to be a little unrealistic as a player. It's like, no, we're the best team. I don't care where we are to this point.
Players have all the confidence in the world. Each player, even if you're struggling, you think your next hit, your next at bat is going to be successful.
Absolutely. If I'm managing a team, that's what I want to see out of my players, and I want to give that in return. Like I said, sometimes delusional, but we have to be delusional to be great.
Some might use that word to describe the general manager as well, the guy behind these decisions. So we will see. Like you said, got about a week and a half to make things clear. What are you seeing with Fernando Tatis Jr. right now?
I'm seeing a guy, and I've been watching him pretty much all year. It's really hard for a guy with that skill set for me watching him. I mean, and not off in the distant past did he have 0 home runs, which I think for that skill set, I was thinking it's almost impossible. Now, being on this side of the ledger now and being an ex-player and have gone through many seasons, I completely can feel for hitters, and I know how hard it is. Coming off a great season, the next season, the first half, struggling, it's very possible. I've done that. I've had struggle wall-to-wall years. I've had success wall-to-wall years. So I've been through it all. So nothing surprises me when it comes to hitting. But I'm watching Tatis this year, and I'm just thinking, he seemed lost at the plate. He seemed to not have an approach. He seemed to be looking for every pitch you can look for and not zoning in on a certain pitch. And I think because of how talented he is, he was able to putt it along and hit 280 when the normal player would be hitting 200 with no home runs. He's skilled enough to do what he was doing without the power. Now, in the last couple of days, he's hit 2 home runs. The power is obviously still there. It's in there. It's just how do you tap into that on a consistent basis? He's having better at bats. He's hitting the ball harder. That's what I heard all year is, oh, he's hitting the ball harder than everybody else. I said, well, okay, that's great, but the ball's not going over the fence. So we pay Fernando Tatis to hit the ball over the fence. Also, as a hitter, we can't worry about that. I couldn't imagine him going home at night. What's going through his mind is they pay me to hit home runs. I'm not hitting home runs, but I know trying to hit home runs doesn't result in hitting home runs. What results in hitting home runs is putting yourself in position to succeed every night and putting yourself in good counts and taking advantage and controlling the strike zone. The better at bat you have, the home runs will come out if you're a home run hitter, which Fernando has proven that he is.
Let me ask you, do you think it's weird that his swing looks different month to month, week to week, sometimes game to game?
I don't think it's weird because I think that's what hitters go through.
Okay.
And we get to a point where we're desperate. We'll listen to the lady selling peanuts in the stands if she's got a remedy for us, So I have I can sit here and critique, but I also have been in that box, and I know that it's not as easy as just saying that. Now, when you sign a contract to the extent he did, that's part of the deal. Yeah. Is you're going to get criticized, and you have to accept that. I've been in the box, and you can accept it, but it doesn't make it any easier. And I'm sure he's banging his head and going to that cage and working on every single different swing he's ever, backyard when he was a kid in the wiffle ball game. You go into those modes. So he's tried everything. It's good to see him hit a couple home runs back-to-back next. Maybe this is something to come for the next 2.5 months of the season, because one thing we know it's in there. Sure. It just hasn't been thus far in the season.
It is always a good time to look back at RJ's numbers. Was 16-3 at the break. Finished with 22 wins, still a Padres record. First Padre to win the Cy Young. From mid-May to late June, he went 68 innings without allowing a single walk. Led the majors in wins, complete games with 25 starts and innings pitched, with over 315 innings pitched. Game has changed a lot, Bret. We will never see anything like that ever again.
Yes, Randy. Oh, rest in peace, Randy. What a good guy. What a good man he was. I got to know Randy pretty well after my career, just through events and things like that. Just miss him. His style of pitching, just a mechanic out there, pinpoint control, really subtracting when today we all all we talk about is velocity and adding. He was a big subtractor, which can be just as good to get you off the barrel. I played with a guy similar to the Randy Jones mold, and that was Jamie Moyer. I played with Jamie for 4 years in Seattle, and it's fun to watch those guys because, you know, the layman opinion is, oh, he doesn't throw hard enough. I'm telling you, subtracting, sometimes throwing below the speed limit, sometimes just as effective at throwing a little above the speed limit.
Less is more. And you were at that All-Star game, right? 76?
I was there, 76. It was Dad's first All-Star game. I lived in Jersey, so, oh, yeah, I was there, bugging those players in the clubhouse, in the locker room with them. But the one thing about my dad when I was young is he let me come to the ballpark, shag. We could get away with a lot more as kids back then. But once the game started, he would kick me out of that dugout. And I used to get so mad, Dad, just let me stay. You know, let me do it. But what a cool childhood, great memories of Philly, the old vet, which as a player I loved hitting there too. The new stadium looks pretty nice. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to play in the new stadium, but it looks pretty hitter friendly.
So young Bret Boone, who was he most excited to see at the All-Star game?
When I was a kid, I was so spoiled because the vet was, you know, like my dad's office. So I got to go to the ballpark and hang out with Pete and Carlton and Luzinski, close family friends to this day with the Luzinskis, and grew up with their kids. Mike Schmidt, Larry Boa. I loved hanging out with Manny Trio. He's the second baseman. You had Bake McBride and Gary Maddox in center field. I mean, it was just Tug McGraw was our closer, and we'd go snowmobiling with him in the offseason. So I went to the All-Star game, and I was kind of that kid, like, it's no big deal. I don't care who you are. You know, Johnny Bench, whatever. You know, I'm hanging out with Schmitty. But now, fast forward to getting to play your career, and through your adulthood, you look back and you kind of pinch yourself like, wow, what a cool childhood I have. You know, you take it for granted when you're a kid, but you're supposed to when you're a kid.
Sure.
That's part of being a kid is being able to do stuff like that. But I look back now and, man, I was a lucky kid, grew up in a lucky family, very proud of everything they've done, and it pretty cool childhood.
Yeah, pretty cool indeed. All right, more Sports Night after the break. Oh, how much fun has it been to have a big league all-star with us talking ball today. Appreciate you being with us, Bret. Shout out to Bret Boone Podcast. Can you tell us about that? What do you got coming your way that we can check out?
What do we got? Well, we do it once a week with Odyssey. It's been fun. It's been a learning experience for me. You know, I started it, 5 years ago now, on a whim during COVID. And it's kind of grew, and I've got it to a point now where it's manageable. I do one guest a week, but we've got Pete Rose Jr. coming up, then I got Cal Ripken coming up, and then every week I have the next guy coming up. So it's been a lot of fun. You got
Darnay Tripp and Todd Strain after those guys.
Absolutely. Right. Hey, this might work into a segment.
Hey, let's do it.
You know what a podcast? Hey, good podcast, good podcast.
Hey, now quickly now, as we wind down, you played with the Padres, obviously spent time here. What do you think about the environment around this team, the stadium, all that? It's been incredible.
Awesome. The job that the ownership group has done to make it the place to be. You know, this new stadium had something to do with it. I played a lot of games at Qualcomm, but I got to play in the new stadium. It's beautiful. The atmosphere is unbelievable. Now taking it in as a fan, which as a player you never get to do, you go around all these stadiums like, this is beautiful. So I think they've done a great job. I've got my stepdaughters who aren't baseball fans that are wearing Padre jerseys.
Nice.
You know they're doing a good job when they do that. Great atmosphere. Petco Place it's a place to be.
No question about it. Thanks so much for being with us. It's
my pleasure.
A lot of fun.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see your brother again next week. We're coming up after Yankees Phillies next week on NBC7. Thanks for being with us. News next. Have a great night.